Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. So today we're going to take a look at some quick races at Misano. First of all, I'm in the Lamborghini. You can see the car starting about 9th position there on the right, middle of the screen now. And yeah, we're straight into the race. Quite a hectic start, a lot of cars close together, fast first corner. And we're just trying to sort of sort ourselves out. Right in the mid-pack at the moment here, fighting with that Singer Beer Ferrari. And yeah, just need to try and position ourselves best to cover off the Audi behind and try and attack this Ferrari as well. We're going to swap to the onboards in a bit and have a look at kind of the views of a racing driver in those situations and what you do and how you attack it. But first of all, I think you'll see me make a little move on this Ferrari down the next corner, nice and late on the brakes, just about get it stopped for the apex there, and yeah, running him just out wide a little bit, not too far but enough to keep the position. So we're going to head on to the onboard now. For the first race I'm going to just talk you through the quick start procedure. So no rolling lap, you can just start from effectively the previous corner, come around the final corner, you sit at a rolling speed, so it's about it's first gear, second gear speed. I started in second gear for this race. You're watching the lights, ready, and go. So on the power now, straight past the Bentley as we saw on TV, and trying to put myself in the best position you can. Ferrari ran quite deep there. I'm understeering a lot there, so not ideal. But yeah, we're trying to keep up the speed as much as we can. Bit of understeer there, and just again, it's all about that positioning. Watching those cars in the mirror, making sure we're not braking too early. We don't want to brake early and then get hit from behind. That's obviously the worst thing that can happen. So yeah, again, we're going to see that move I just pulled on TV. You can see the setup, got a good exit from the previous corner, right in tow, and pull out right at the end, and a hard braking and get the move done. So of course now we'll try and catch the next guys. The focus is straight on the next group. In sprint racing like this, it's very intense, so you've really got to attack the start. The first laps are so important. You'll find more place in the first lap than you will in the whole race, 9 times out of 10. It's very rare that you overtake a lot during the race because it's so hard. Everyone's in a rhythm, everyone's tyres and brakes are good, but obviously on the outlap people's experience differs in terms of how they bring the tyres in or the brakes in. On the game it matters less so, because obviously we started from the second last corner, but in real life, yeah, it does make a big difference, is how you bring the brakes and tyres in the first lap. As you can see there, I ran a little bit deep, I missed the apex, had a little bit of a shoulder with the Ferrari there, nothing too major, but managed to keep the position and then live to fight another day. So we're actually going to take a look at another race start. So this time I actually used first gear, which made a big difference. Got a much better launch, so you can see here, first gear, ready, and off we go. Nice start there, straight in the toe of the Audi and past him because he had a bit of a break. Past the Ferrari as well, but then the Ferrari comes back. So yeah, it's intense. These first laps are great, and that's what every driver lives for. It's the thrill of the first lap, all the racing and against each other. It's fascinating. So you can see trying to get the position over the Ferrari there. I actually outbraked myself massively and avoided the corner. Completely missed the turning point. But yeah, you get back on it and try and get the position back. But in this race I was actually chasing that Ferrari for quite a while, and very difficult to get past once you're in a rhythm and the cars are all performing similar lap times. Outbraked myself a bit there and ran quite wide, but yeah, I was definitely having to try to keep up with these AI. And we're now on with the Bentley actually, so straight on with the Bentley on board. Same Misano, different race now, obviously same amount of cars. I was a bit more conservative in this one, a little bit more careful, and didn't really want to spin or overdrive kind of thing. The Bentley's a lot bigger, that's the biggest thing you've got to remember. The Lamborghini is quite a small, nimble car, but this Bentley is huge, so the positioning is even more important, because if it's a big car, if you don't get in the right place, you're going to really struggle. And you can see I'm setting up the move on the Mercedes now, making him defend, and then getting a good run through here, and I actually got the Ferrari as well, threading the eye of the needle through there, just about got the move done. But yeah, it's quite a good move, that. Very happy with that one. So now it's time to get your head down, try and catch the next guys, which is very tricky. I mean, you can see there I missed the apex, ran a bit wide, was really having to push to try and keep up with the AI on this difficulty level. Obviously they're very they know where they're going, of course, they're AI, but managing the brake is the hardest thing to perfect in this game. It's all about how you use the brake will determine the understeer, oversteer of the car mid-corner. But yeah, these triple rights up here, it's a very tricky complex, very tricky part of the track. So I'm going to pause it this second apex here, and you can see if you look down at the steering wheel at the bottom, I've actually got a bit of right steering on, which is, you know, normal for going through a right corner. But I'm about to brake, and that's why it's paused. This is the braking point. The next frame I actually do brake. But you can see the top of the steering wheel is actually flat there, and that is quite significant, because in a minute we're going to look at a different lap where I actually have the steering wheel straight at this point on the lap, and because it's turned right, when I brake the car pitches forward and it starts to tank slapper, and the rear moves around, and obviously at 250 kilometers an hour, that's the last thing you want. And it's very tricky. I definitely lost some time here. You can see the Mercedes on the left in the mirror, quite far away, and then after the corner they're straight back on me. So if you see now, we're going to play it here. Big movement, almost lost it. Managed to keep it, obviously, the positive, but look at the Mercedes now right on me, really putting the pressure on. And that was a corner I struggled with in this car quite a few times. I think, again, the nature of the car, the size of it, going through the high-speed corners, especially when there's a weight transfer, like when you're braking, it doesn't respond very well to it. It's got a very good traction off the slow-speed corners. You can see I've pulled a big gap to the Mercedes already in 2 corners just by getting a good run off of the corner. So yeah, the low-speed traction is a positive of this car, but I wouldn't say the high-speed handling is one of its strong points, because you can see we're really struggling there with a lot of understeer and stuff like that. Again, we come up to a slow, low-speed complex here, and again, look, pulling away from that Mercedes on the exit of the corner. Obviously, you've got the concertina effect to think about a bit, where obviously as you brake, everything closes up, as you drive away, everything extends. This is the next lap, so again, we're going to pause at this right apex. But you can see here, we've just gone past the apex, but a similar point. I'm actually about to brake here, and you can see the steering wheel's flat at the bottom of the screen. So when I brake, it handles a lot better, and you can see here, make the apex just about. Again, a little bit of understeer, but the car handled a lot better. Equally, what's interesting is the Mercedes still caught me. So that's what leads me to think that this car doesn't really respond well to those kind of corners, because, you know, if it was, it would be fine there. And I'm just going to skip it again one more time round to that same point on the lap in a little bit, and look at the handling one more time. I had a bit of a slide there this lap as well, but you can see there getting a good exit and putting a big gap to that Mercedes in the mirror. It's such a strong point of this car, and I really had to rely on it. Again, you know, when you're driving, you work out the strong points of cars and you rely on that, and you know, right, okay, if I drive this corner well, I'm going to pull a gap. So you focus on doing that one corner perfectly. Obviously this corner's not a strong point, so you just try and get the car through there and almost hope for the best. Again, that was the 3rd lap, and still making little mistakes there. Very, very tricky to get it through. But then in this last sector, you've got to be absolutely on it. Get perfect entry, perfect exit, just to pull a gap to the cars behind. And you can see we've done that there. The Mercedes is offering a distance behind us. So I just thought it'd be good to go for the last lap complete without any brakes, just so you can have a look at what the Bentley's like around Misano and how the car's handling. I was really in a really good rhythm here. The car's performing really well, nice smooth driving, and yeah, it's really is a great car at the low speed and medium speed corners. It's surprising you wouldn't really think that, the size of it, but it's a very predictable car. There's a lot of understeer in it, and which obviously does make it predictable. Understeer isn't always ideal, but it does make it predictable, so it's a tool that you can use for those low speed corners. As you can see here, making a nice apex, a little bit of curb. The Mercedes using more curb than us, but we're still on in a good place. Coming up to this very tricky right, Mercedes really putting the pressure on now. Obviously this is the last lap of the race as well, so Mercedes really putting the pressure on, and you just got to think about driving the absolute best you can. You know, that Mercedes putting all the pressure he can, but as a driver, all you've got to do is just focus on giving your best all the time. And again, come up to this tricky corner here, managed it pretty well there. A lot more curb on the inside, which was quicker, I believe. The Mercedes didn't close the gap as much as he did previously. And there, you know, once I got through that part, I was like, right, okay, you know, we're home free now. It's the end's in sight. I've done all the tricky parts. I know I'm good for these last 2 corners, and then yeah, you're coming over the line to finish. So I hope you enjoyed that video, guys. Bit of an insight into the racing mind of a driver like myself, and obviously also looking into the game, the quick race sort of format, and say it's a very exciting format, lots of intense racing, and I think the AI do a really good job. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that, guys, and be sure to look out for the next video soon.